And today we are heading out into the garden to look at some of the amazing things that are in our very own backyards. Our very own backyards. We've got some trees here. We've got some fruit trees. And I want to share that with you. And if there's something that y'all know or y'all recognize, a certain tree or something, so comment down below and let me know what it is, and we'll give you a shout out. As well, if you didn't yet subscribe, you could subscribe now right down below. We're going to do some great videos in the upcoming weeks. So before we head out and take a look at our plants and some of our trees and some of the things we have going on in our garden, I want to tell you that until this year, it didn't really make such a difference to me. All this outside trees and fruit trees and gardens, it just was another thing that you see outside. But then this year I started to do a little bit with the kids, and we started digging, we started planting things, and all of a sudden I started to notice that there are so many amazing things that happen that are hidden. These are the secrets of nature. So today, I'm going to show you some of the beautiful things that are out here in my garden. And I'm sure that some of you have some beautiful things to share in your garden. Y'all can comment below. And we're going to start with my fruit trees. Now, y'all can see I'm wearing a shirt today that's got a bunch of different fruits. We've got oranges, bananas, lemons, and pineapple. The reason why I'm wearing this shirt is because we're going to talk about our fruit trees that we have out here. We have 2 fruit trees right in the front of our house. So let's get started. Okay. Here we are. We're at our first fruit tree right outside the front door. Now this fruit tree here, I'll give you a hint that this fruit tree is one of the 7 species. One of the 7 species, the 7 special species that are special and unique to Israel. And I'm going to show you the leaf up close. And tell me if you recognize this leaf. I mean, check out the size of this leaf. It's bigger than my hand. Bigger than my hand. And let's hold that leaf up for you all to see. Okay? So if you know what that leaf is, for what tree that is, comment down below. I'll give you a shout out. I don't want to just tell you just yet what type of tree this is. Now, there's a certain reason why I decided to start today with fruit trees. And that reason is because today is the last day of the Jewish month of Nisan. Now, Nisan has a special blessing that is supposed to be made on the trees. And this blessing is made up to when the trees stop blooming. So still the trees are blooming. One, that God gives us trees to enhance our life, gives us beautiful things and beautiful people to enhance our lives and everything about it. So before we go on to the next tree, I didn't see that anyone got this tree right, what it is yet. But before we go on to the next tree, I want to let you know another amazing secret that God had put in to the fruits. And when we eat them, every time we eat them, every time we sit down and take a bite out of our fruit or a vegetable, we will realize the fruits on my shirt, it's not gray, it's colorful. God made it colorful so that we can enjoy not just its taste, which also God made a special taste for each and every fruit. But it also has color to it. The orange is orange. The banana is yellow on the outside. When you walk over to a tree, an orange tree, an apple tree, or even this tree behind me, which is not a kumquat. Let's see if anyone can guess it. You walk over to that tree and you look at it and you say, wow, those fruits look so inviting. I just want to take one off and bite into it. The juicy, delicious fruits that come off the trees can all taste the same. They can all be gray and they can all smell the same. But God, He did a beautiful thing, a wonderful thing, and that is He made a fruit have a specific taste, a specific smell, and not only that, but a specific look. So that is correct. I see that Rhonda got this correct. So we are going to now open up for you, and we're going to show you. Can y'all see that right there? Let's get in a little closer. Let's get in just a little bit closer. See if we could catch a peek of that fruit growing right here. Can you see that? That right there, my friends, is a fig. The first of many for this tree. You can see some teeny tiny ones growing up right here and there. This, my friends, is a fig tree. Right here in front of my house, we have a fig tree. Now, it's actually a pretty small one, but it can produce a real lot of fruits. So y'all can see. Do you see that right there? That right there is mulch. Now, the reason why I put mulch down at the bottoms of my plants and trees is that this mulch, right? You walk by, see them putting down some mulch. This mulch is super absorbent and protective for the plant. So it protects the plants against the sun and it absorbs water. When it absorbs water, it then in turn goes ahead and is able to release that water into the soil, keeping the soil moist and protecting the tree from potential drought. And that's how you get beautiful, delicious fruits from your tree. All right, so we're ready to move on to the next tree that we've got. It's right behind this one. So here we go. We're here. We have some friends that joined us on the leaves. Can you see them? Change the feelings I had towards bugs. The bugs that you see every day out there is you feel like squishing them, stepping on them, getting rid of them. But a lot of them are very, very important in the food web and the breaking down of different foods, which create compost and things like that. So really, bugs are there all to help us. Yes, sometimes they're a nuisance. Sometimes they're in our way. Sometimes we want to knock them out. But they're really there to help everything grow. That's another amazing thing that God created that we really have to notice. Okay, so right here, I'm going to show you the leaves. Okay? And y'all can start guessing what tree this might be. Okay? You see these leaves? Now, it's here. It's a hot climate. Texas. It ain't the coolest place. It's the coolest place to live. But it ain't the coolest place when it comes to temperature. This tree likes nice and warm weather. You might find these trees in Arizona, Texas, a lot of them. It's not a peach tree. It's not a peach tree. It is not a grape tree. That would be a vine. But this tree right here, before I tell you what it is, let me just bring you in a little closer so you can see some of the things growing on the stems there, on the branches. Can you see this right here? Can you see what that is? You see that thing? Now I'm trying to be very careful as I show this to you without getting poked. It's not a pear tree. Trying to be careful not to get poked, but there's thorns on this tree. Yes, every single branch has thorns. And down at the bottom, you can even see the thorns. I took some of them off because I have kids that run around out here. But you can see that thorn. I mean, that's a big thorn. Those are big thorns, and when you cut them off, they grow back. So that's a pretty big thorn. And I think we have a winner. I think we have a winner. That is correct. This is an orange tree. Now, not all oranges are created equal. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this orange tree just for a few minutes, and then we're going to move on to the next things we have grown back here. This orange tree is unique. Just like every single one of you watching this video, this orange tree is unique. And that is, the oranges that are produced from this tree are the most delicious looking oranges you have ever seen. They are so delicious looking that we can't help but pick them again and again and again and keep on trying them. However, the oranges that come off of this tree are actually one of the most bitter oranges I've ever tasted. It actually tastes more like a lemon or a lime. So our orange tree, it needs some help. If you have any ideas or what things I could do for my orange tree, let me know in the comments below. I was thinking maybe we'll go for some good fertilizer. We'll turn over the soil. We'll give it some compost that we're making that we'll show you very soon. We'll give it some compost, and hopefully we'll be able to get a good turnout from that. That's really what I'm hoping. Yeah, we could water it. We do water it. I mean, they're juicy. They're juicy. It's just not. It's not giving the right taste. So, guys, don't judge a book by its cover. But Hashem created these little thorns right there to protect. God created those to protect your beautiful, delicious fruit from getting harmed and eaten before you get there by squirrels, rodents, and other things. All right, so we're going to move on. That's our 2 trees for the front of our house. We've got a fig tree right here. We've got an orange tree right here. Actually, up there, I think we were just joined by, I'm not sure if you could see that, but I think we were just joined by a woodpecker. All right, so we're going to move on. Before we move on to our compost, we have here some beautiful roses. Okay, so again, until recently, I didn't realize how beautiful roses were. I saw the thorns, I felt the thorns, they felt me, they pricked me, and I bled. And I never realized how beautiful they are, and the thorns actually protect the roses from snails and slugs and other things. They don't really like climbing up their the branches of the thorn of the roses. So actually, that's a gardening hack I just let you guys in on, is that if you have extra thorny stems that you're trying to prune your trees back, if you put those around your garden bed, you can actually protect your vegetables from being eaten by snails and slugs. All right, so we're gonna move on here. We're gonna move on. So in our next video, next week, hopefully, we'll show you a little bit around our garden bed, and I'll even show you maybe how to make one. Okay. So we're moving now to our compost, but we want to take a minute to say that right here in the back of our car, we've got 5 pallets stacked up. Those pallets are going to turn not just into wood, firewood, or anything like that. Those pallets are going to turn into something amazing. So if you didn't subscribe yet, subscribe now, and we are going to make a video of what you can turn these pallets into your backyard, in your front yard, in your garden. Some of these are going to turn into a compost, which we're going to make a compost in our backyard, and we're going to get some leaves from our neighbors and some grass and some food scraps. Really great. It's a great way to recycle. Everyone's looking for a way to get rid of pallets, especially now that people are home and people are looking for things to do with their kids. Taking one of these apart is a lot of fun. The kids like to help out, and it's a great activity for the whole family. Costs nothing to make. Absolutely nothing. Yes, I said nothing. Zero. Nada. Everyone's looking to get rid of them. You find a warehouse, they want to get rid of their pallets. They'll even pay you to take them. Yes, some people will actually pay you to take their pallets. So some of those are going to turn into a compost in our backyard. And one of them, I'm going to make a video for you guys on how to take it apart and simply, almost no cutting required. You'll have to cut about 4 pieces of wood in order to embeds made from pallet wood. It's beautiful. It is a great place. It houses my vegetables and my garden and my herbs, and it's just fantastic. Okay. So right now we're moving on to our compost. So this is one of our composts right here. You can see down here. I've got some leaves and some grass trimmings. Actually, I did my neighbor a favor, and I took my lawnmower and I mowed their lawn for them. And I took their grass trimmings and their leaves. So right here, I'm going to dig up a little bit just so that we could get down, because this is still fresh. This is still fresh. You can see we've got eggshells in there that are already decomposing. It's already turning nasty. Now, in order to compost, there's a few things you have to know. The number one thing you have to know is don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to try. It's not that hard. You just put your food scraps together, your lawn trimmings, some of your weeds, you pull them out, you stick them in, and it works great. Now, how do you know if your compost is working? So on the internet, on YouTube, there's a lot of complicated videos on you have to have the 30-to-1 part, the nitrogen, the carbon and the nitrogen. It all is a big maze of how to figure it all out. But luckily, we did it simply. We took our garden trimmings, we took some of our weeds that we had laying around, and we just pulled them out. Great activity with the kids. It kept them excited. They were into it. And we stuck them all in this bin. Most of this bin is filled up with leaves, dried leaves that we ran over with the lawnmower, so that like mulched it down for us and started the process. So that was one thing that we did. And the other thing was food scraps. So our neighbors, we actually asked them if they could give us some food scraps. So they started giving us some food scraps, and they just dump it in here whenever they have. And you need to hit about a temperature of 120 to 130 degrees. I mean, it could vary between 110 to anywhere to about 160 degrees once everything starts to break down and decompose. So I wanted to order from Amazon a thermometer, a gardening thermometer, but they're like not exactly shipping things out right now because of COVID-19. You have to wait a little bit longer for certain items that are not high priority. So I'm improvising. That's a very important thing to do, is to improvise. So right here, I'm going to use an old barbecue thermometer that I used to use for meat. So you can see right here, it's at 92 degrees. Okay, I think it's backwards for you. I'm going to take that and I'm going to stick it in here. Let's stick it down into. Okay, so it's already hitting 114. 100. So while we wait for that to hit its temperature, important to note, you have to turn it over. You have to oxidize. You have to give it oxygen. So what I do is, right here, I bought it from the dollar store. I bought see this, a 3-pronged little, turn it over. But once I get all this into my backyard, into my pallet compost, it should be much easier to turn over. So we use this to just scrape down and turn things over and bring up the bottom leaves to the top. And that's pretty much what we do. We do that every few days. We don't really add water to it, maybe like a cup or two every few days, but it doesn't really need water. If you're putting in food scraps, that's enough to give it the moisture that it needs to start decomposing. But if you're not using water and you don't have that much grass trimmings, it's fine. You could use a little bit of water to get it started. So I'm going to show you guys right here. You can see that. Let me bring this up a little closer. It's 135 degrees in the compost, and that's only the top layer. That's about 6 to 8 inches down. We've got our compost at 135 degrees. That's ideal for compost. So we're going to cover that up. We're going to cover that up, and in future videos, I'll show you how to do your own compost, and especially once we get it going in the backyard. It's going to be really exciting. This compost right here is going to be there's a certain word for it, which is it's a non-in-ground compost. There's definitely a benefit to an in-ground compost, is that it gets worms. So again, God created these little creatures. You thought were the biggest pests, the worms. As a kid, you were playing in the mud, and you're like, why in the world do we have worms? Why would God create worms? Guys, the worms are the most important part of your compost. They're what make it rich. And their droppings, once they start eating all that stuff, their droppings actually is the richest material and nutrients for your plants. So once you get all that good compost, you put it on top of your plants. So that right there, my friends, is our composting bin. We do have another one. And then I want to head back to the trees because I want to talk about some of the blessings that we can make on fruit. Okay? So right here, we have another composting bin that we're actually going to be making some other videos about, and we're going to be sending them into the school so that the kids could learn how to compost and how it works. This is called a tumbler, a compost tumbler. Now, the benefit of this is that you don't have to use any pitchforks, any rakes, or anything. You just give it a spin every few days, add food scraps, and leave it in there. So this one right here is actually a double. I'll open it up for you to see what's going on in there. You can see that the food, can you see that? Let's see if we can get a better view. The food is actually breaking down in there. It's becoming brown and nasty looking, but if it's done right, it doesn't even smell. Most people are afraid of oh yeah, compost is going to stink up my whole yard. No, it doesn't smell. God made it perfect. Anybody knows what blessing you make on the fruit that comes out of a tree? Do you know the blessing that you make on the fruit that comes out of a tree? Well, it does grow from the ground. However, it comes up and it becomes a tree. Now, what defines a tree? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the definition of a tree. Okay, so tree, if I would take off this branch right here, this whole branch, if I take this whole branch off, chop it off, what's going to happen is that right? Ooh, look at this. We just missed a beautiful butterfly on the tree. But if I take off this branch, a new branch is going to grow out right next to or in the same place where the branch was removed. Whenever you see that, where you take off a branch from a tree and the branch is going to grow back, the bracha that is correct is ha'etz. Ha'etz is the correct bracha. Borei peria eitz. It is the fruit of a tree. That is the brachot and anything that comes from a tree. Now, some of you might be wondering, hey, what about a banana tree? A banana tree. Well, what bracha do you think we should make on a banana from a banana tree? Let's see. Well, it is a tree. In here, hadama. Hadama is correct. Why would you make hadama on a banana if it seemingly grows from a tree? That's weird. It's big, it's tall, it can be up to 8-10 feet or even more. See, they grow in clusters. They have little flowers that grow right before the bananas start growing. Why would you make a hadama on a banana? So the way it works is, as I said, if you cut it and it doesn't grow back, right? Over here, if you cut down a branch from your tree, which I did at the beginning of this year, it was growing real tall and I cut down a whole bunch and it started to grow back right away. Almost within a few weeks, we had a few little branches that started growing out. It started to grow back. So then we realized that this actually has the properties of a tree. Something that has the properties of a bush, like a banana tree, when you cut down its branch does not grow back.